In 1882, a German philosopher named Friedrich Nietzsche wrote 4 words that completely derailed how the public understood him. God is dead. Almost immediately, readers took this literally. Atheists proudly quoted the phrase as a hard-won victory over religion, while devout readers condemned his work as a direct attack on their faith. Nietzsche viewed the world through the lens of a psychologist, tracking how the decay of ancient beliefs would leave the modern mind adrift. He was delivering a very dark, very serious medical diagnosis about the state of modern society, and he found the symptoms terrifying. In the 1800s, Europe was rapidly advancing. Physics, chemistry, and medicine were developing at breakneck pace. As scientists published their findings, educated citizens quietly began stepping back from the church, letting go of the idea that ancient texts explained physical reality. For over 1,000 years, Western civilization built its morality, legal codes, and definition of right and wrong on a single structural foundation: a divine creator. If you asked why human life had meaning, the answer was always that a higher power said so. People abandoned that belief, yet they continued to insist that murder is wrong, that charity is good, and that humans have inherent rights. They kept following the rules built entirely on a foundation they no longer trusted. Society had quietly pulled out its own load-bearing pillar. Everyone was still living in the house, completely unaware that it was now hovering in midair, waiting for gravity to take effect. Nietzsche asked, "What did we do when we unchained this earth from its sun? Are we not falling?" Without that anchor, there is no authority left to dictate human behavior. If there is no creator, no human can declare anything definitively good or evil. This realization leads directly to nihilism, the crushing belief that morality is entirely made up. Life has zero inherent meaning, and nothing is actually worth caring about. Most people assume Nietzsche advocated for this void, but he actually spent his career searching for a way out of it. His diagnosis serves as a desperate alarm for a civilization sleepwalking toward a loss of purpose. To cope with this vast emptiness, most people default to herd morality. They follow the crowd, adopting whatever values are currently popular, and measure their worth by how well they blend in. This coping mechanism produces what Nietzsche called the last man, the final, hollow iteration of a species that has stopped striving. The last man avoids risk at all costs. He secures a safe job, enjoys small daily pleasures, and consumes endless entertainment. He doesn't ask hard questions or create anything of his own. He merely exists. The greatest threat to humanity is a population of comfortable, empty individuals who have surrendered any ambition for greatness without ever admitting it to themselves. Because the old foundation is structurally gone, any attempt to lean on it only accelerates the fall. This leaves the individual with a singular, daunting task: to generate stability from within. This requires a specific kind of person, the Ubermensch. Stripped of the terrible misinterpretations attached to it by later political movements, the Ubermensch is simply an individual who takes on the grueling work of authoring their own moral code. The will to power describes the internal drive to grow, to overcome one's own limitations, and to master the self. The Ubermensch is anyone with the courage to look at an empty universe and construct their own reason to live, rather than quietly inheriting a default script from society. To test if you have actually achieved this, Nietzsche proposed a thought experiment called eternal recurrence. Imagine that after you die, you are forced to repeat your exact life, every joy, every terrible failure, playing out in an infinite loop, forever. If you found out this was true, would you collapse in despair, or would you feel a deep, overwhelming sense of joy? Reacting with joy requires Amor Fati, or the love of fate. This means actively embracing your entire existence, including the pain and the setbacks, because those exact moments forged the person you are now. This shift in perspective turns the void into a workshop. When every moment is actively loved, the concept of meaninglessness loses its grip, replaced by a life of absolute, self-determined value. That diagnosis was written over 140 years ago, but the symptoms are everywhere today. Look at how many people are running on borrowed meaning, working jobs they don't care about, checking boxes on a socially approved timeline, and feeling hollow despite doing everything right. The death of God extends far beyond religion. It represents the failure of any external source of meaning, a corporate ladder, a societal expectation, or a hollow relationship that you haven't consciously chosen for yourself. Which forces a terrifying set of questions. Are you creating, or are you just consuming? Are you living your own values, or acting out someone else's? The foundational ground is completely empty. What you build on it is now entirely up to you.